Passion or purpose, profit or pain,
I don't ever want my name to be in vain.
a life full of substance is the only thing that will remain the same.
Millennial
Millennial thoughts.
thoughts. Hey, we did it. Last episode and we did it. We did it.
Yes. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Millennial Thoughts. I'm your girl, Alicia.
And I'm Sabria. Hey, hey.
Yes, and we are so excited for you all to join us on our last episode of the season. But, you always can go and watch the episodes before if you missed them on YouTube or whatever app you're listening. So we won't be far away. So this episode for our Millennial Mogul, I want to shout out Pinky Cole. If you do not know her, she is the owner of Slutty Vegan, ATL. So she has like 3 spots in Atlanta. She's also the CEO of Bar Vegan ATL. Now that was my favorite place because I don't drink and I thought it was kind of
Same. I'm not a big
overhyped.
drinker either.
But she also has like a nonprofit like uh organization, and it's called the Pinky Cole Foundation. And I thought to shout her out because she gave over like well, to each student who went to Savannah State University, they got $25,000 each worth of entrepreneurial resources, and that's a combined of $8.9 million. So I was like, I feel like she should be the Millennial Mogul because she is out here. She got 3 kids, she's married, she has businesses, she's giving back. I think that is a really, really great like opportunity and give back to people to be able to even start this generation. And like younger generations were all about entrepreneurship, giving back, doing things and stuff like that. So I thought that was something great to do for like a new graduate to not even probably think about going to school, not going to school, but like trying to get a new job, and you get $25,000 worth of resources. And also like you're probably going to get the best resources. You're coming from Savannah State.
Mm-hmm.
You got Pinky Cole. So I thought that was just like a great give back, to
Yes.
people to help them like launch their business. So I wanted to shout her out for the Millennial Mogul for this episode.
I love that. She sounds amazing. And I've heard of her brand. Never got to check it out, but it sounds really cool. Um,
Oh yes, I've tried it before. I've been to actually both locations. I went to the location in Jonesboro. It's like really cheap, but people be outside waiting for that food. Um, and then her Atlanta location is really, really busy. The food is good though. I think it is good, like the burgers or whatever. It's definitely like an interesting vibe. Like it's like you walk in, they be like, "Hey, slut." So they have like sandwiches are like one night stand. Um, like
it's one of those places.
yeah, it's like something flossy. I can't think of the words, but yeah, like it's kind of like that, So when you walk in, they be like, "Hey, Celeste," and then if it's your first time, they'll be like, "We got a virgin in the building." So it's kind of like all that type of culture thing. Yeah, they do all that. And yes, I can't really remember the other stuff, but like everything is vegan, of course, like the fries and stuff like that. And so yeah, people be outside waiting for the food as well. So that's kind of cool. So she's kind of created like this buzz and different things like that. She even has a food truck. She brought it up to Kentucky one time. People were standing out waiting for it, but I didn't go, because I already had it. So I was just like, okay. But yeah, it's like a whole thing. Mhm.
That's amazing. It sounds like a whole experience, literally.
Yeah. That's what it is. It's like a whole experience, kind of. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Well, I'm excited for today's episode, Alicia, because there's so much to celebrate and there's so much to reflect on today. I mean, we're going to be talking all about just, reflecting on the anniversary of this podcast, reflecting on our mental health in general this year and the journey. This seems like such a great time to check in, right? Like as we're kind of like around that midpoint in the year and to check in on ourselves. And so I'm just excited. So before we do that, though, before we jump into the real combo for today, I want to bring us to our final, it's emotional, our final therapy toolkit. And so, as people know, if you followed our episodes for this podcast, I've always done a therapy toolkit card. It's a random card that neither one of us know about that I pull from our handy therapy toolkit deck. And in this deck, it'll basically be a random topic or prompt that we'll look at in regards to mental health, life exploration, exploration of ourselves, and just kind of explore the topic for a few minutes. So, Are you ready, Alicia, to go into our therapy toolkit?
I am
All right, drawing the card.
nervous.
I feel like we already did this one. We did this one already. Okay,
Okay.
ignore it. It's a big deck, and of course, I picked the one we already done.
Yeah,
I think we talked about parents before.
we
Okay,
have.
okay. I don't think we're gonna do this one.
What is it?
It kind of goes with flooding vegan. Ironically, the topic. This one's a little bit
Raunchy.
raunchy. We gonna hold on. We're not gonna do
Can we
that.
know?
Huh?
Can we know what it says? Oh, ha 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 ha.
We're not gonna do that for this. I don't know if you want to do that for this episode.
What is what is it? Is it talking about learning? Oh, I don't know what the card even says. Is it like
Well, it talks
learn
about how
about
it's
it?
the most intimate. So, sex, of course, that's
Mm,
a big topic, which this is therapeutic. Sex is definitely a big thing that comes up in mental health and it's a part of our lives. It talks about the safety of talking about it to our parents and things like that. So maybe we'll do this. Let's bring it back because ironically, I chose the parents card and I chose the sex card, ironically. So I'm curious to talk about maybe this idea of when it came to you growing up, these are the
mhm.
hard conversations that we must have with our children. Like, how do you feel like your parents prepared you for like that part of our lives, like that human part of our life experience?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I don't think my parents really prepared me for it. Like, I never had the conversation. You know, people
You
like
never
raise.
had to talk? Like there was no talk like the movies?
No, I don't really think I watched that many movies around my parents with that. They're just like, "Close your eyes, close your eyes." But also, so this is a good and a bad thing or whatever. But like growing up, like I was raised like in the church, like so my dad's a minister, stuff like that. So
Oh.
like you talk about the birds and the bees, like so I heard about sex, okay, sex, you basically is sex is like you have kids, it's like wait to have sex when you're married. So
Mhm.
that's kind of really basically how I heard about it. You do listen to it like not listen to it. You do hear about like in health class, it's like, okay, a woman has like ovaries, stuff like that when you have sex. But you know about STDs and all that stuff or whatever, STIs. So I wouldn't say like my parents like sat down and was like, here is the sex talk. Like when you lay down or you have sex with a man, like it really wasn't like that. It was just kind of like sex is like you wait till you're married to have sex. You have sex to have kids or something like that. So there wasn't like this long drawn out like conversation about sex, what I would say from my experience.
Yeah. So I think that, I think about this coming up in therapy too. Like this comes up with clients. A lot of times people are afraid to talk about this topic in therapy, but I want people listening to know that therapy is a really good place to have these tough conversations. There's people
Hmm.
ranging from sexual trauma to people who feel like they really didn't get a chance to get the information they needed. Growing up, I feel like I actually would say I had a kind of similar experience. Like of course your parents like, well, don't get pregnant or like,
Yeah.
that's like the
Mhm.
typical like, like I don't think like I wasn't really raised in a super religious household. Like my parents believed in God and like my mom, she believed in God, but like I feel like, it was a little bit more of a lax household. My mom kind of really trusted me to kind of be responsible. And I think that one of the things that I wish I understood more and that we could learn more is just even how our organs work. So like for example, I had no idea that a woman has a thing called ovulation. And I
Mhm.
had no idea that you can only ovulate a certain amount of time, that you can only get pregnant a certain amount of time. Like,
Mhm.
I found that out as an adult. That's like really scary. And I feel like for me to only have learned this as an adult, and I kind of feel like embarrassed kind of saying it, like, I literally didn't know that you ovulate until I was like a grown up, like, literally, like the last few years. I just feel like not only were we educated about STDs and all these things, but we just weren't prepared for like the woman experience. Like I was not prepared to understand the long-term effects of birth control and hormones. That was something I had got on when I was younger because I had really bad periods and I had acne problems that I was struggling with. And I started to have difficulties with being on the pill as an adult. My whole mood was like, just, I felt like myself changing as I was growing up and my hormones were not taking well. And I got off and it made a huge difference for me. I mean, I don't know about what do you think? I mean, I feel like we just don't I feel like I didn't know anything about my body as an adult until I had to like find out on my own.
Yeah, I would say that like I never got on birth control. And also like knowing though that it does affect you, but I heard people like talk about it made me gain weight, it did this sort of like they're putting something in you to like for your natural hormones to kind of not work. But to your point about like not knowing how your body works, I think that is something that we like, but also shoot, our parents might not even know that really as well too, like the ovulation thing. I didn't really know the ovulation thing until I started tracking my cycles. So I've been tracking my cycles for like some years now, but like I didn't really
Wow.
know that, oh, you're ovulating. And then that's when I'm like, oh, ovulating is like the best time to get pregnant, Yeah, because the way that you hear is just like don't have sex, not get pregnant, but you could have sex and you really couldn't get pregnant. They always talk about breaking the condom. I think it's like that fear thing, like, well, just don't get pregnant. But also you hear about STDs, you hear about different things. So it's like, yeah, well, if a woman can only get pregnant when she's ovulating, maybe you should just be like, well, teach what the heck is ovulating mean or whatever. Not like, oh, don't get pregnant. Cause it's like, well, I might not get pregnant even though I have sex. So I think that's kind of the thing about it. And I feel like I knew about ovulating, like, yeah, more of my adult life and how you talk about like organs and different things like that. Even the thing about like ovaries, it's like, oh, babies come out of ovaries and you think babies coming out like of your other area. I would, even know for YouTube, I just won't say it, but like the V or whatever, however you want to say it. um I think that's kind of different things too, or even like the effects of like when you even are on your cycle, like, oh, your boobs could hurt, or your back could hurt, or like, like you're tired. I don't think that kind of we know. It's just like you get your cycle, you're just like, oh, okay. And it's like, I'm a woman now, but it's kind of like, well,
What does
what
that
what is
mean?
it? Yeah, like what is that? How does your body changes, your mood changes, and different things like that can affect you. And I think also even like cravings. So, well, when you're pregnant, you have cravings, but like when you're on your cycle, like I feel like I crave sweets more when I'm on my cycle, which I have not did before. But I started going to the
That's
doctor
real.
for like my headaches, and she was like, "Oh, well, do you think it's like your cycle?" Or I was like, "No, I've never had headaches or whatever on my cycle." She's like, "Well, like your not hormones, but she's like, your symptoms change over time." I'm like, "What? Period symptoms change? I don't need no changing my period symptoms." I
Yes.
used to not take medicine. I used to go to sleep. Now I feel like I get symptoms like a week before. I do not like getting symptoms a week before.
Oh,
Okay.
that's the worst.
Yeah, like, but before it was like, oh, I could sleep a couple days or something like that. And then like take some medicine. But yeah, now I feel like I get it like a week before or something. And I hate that, right? I'm like, I don't need my stuff to change. But it's like, but when you're younger, you're just like, oh, okay, like I just get a period, but you don't even know what that is. But when you get older, it's like, oh no, like it was great to have a period because that means that you're also not pregnant, but like you're flushing stuff out and all this and that. So like, they talk about even like the Bible and stuff like that, but even
Ooh,
your
Eve, we got a bone to pick. I got a bone to pick with you,
your
Eve.
the lady that you connect me with though, she's like, oh, we should celebrate periods or whatever. Like it's a part of womanhood, which is true, but we don't really even get that part of celebrating it because it's so like, oh my gosh, like this is, it's kind of annoying. Like every
Yes.
20 something days, I have to bleed. Like why? But even in that, the science is just like, oh, you get your period. But when you're in middle school, you don't know why you're getting your cycle. You don't
You
even
don't
know.
know why. You don't know anything about anything. And
And
so
now they're trying to, and now you can even get it earlier. They're like, oh, well, I don't know, like if you're more athletic, something like that, you can get it like in fifth grade, sixth or something. That was like, damn, that's crazy.
actually, I got it in like fifth. I got it when I was like 11. So, I mean, I totally, it's a real thing. And I think, part of the food. But, speaking of, it's funny, this topic, I guess it did work out. I was like, I don't know where we're going to go with this, but I
Right.
think, you know what? I'm glad we were able to like really talk about it because I think this is a whole stigmatized conversation. So, those listening, I hope that this encouraged you to maybe explore some things you might not know about your body.
Yeah.
Maybe go consider talking to your therapist or talking to a doctor and asking those questions, doing some research. But I would love to dive into
Fantastic.
celebrating something. We celebrating the sixth anniversary of the Millennial Thoughts Podcast.
Anniversary of the Millennial Thoughts
What a
Pod.
segue, right? Like, I'm so proud of you, Alicia.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a long 6 years, a long road. So, yeah, I'm just excited to have 6 years in the game. This is like my first baby, I should say.
Yes.
Probably my second, because I did have a blog before this. And I started YouTube after this. So all the content creation. But yeah, it's my 6th year doing this, my ninth season. So I'm excited to be able to have that, well, consistency, but like, that's something out there for the world to listen to and to hopefully, the purpose is to help millennials navigate adulting. So hopefully, these episodes and like the topics that I choose are like helpful and, help millennials, or even if you're not millennial, woman, male, whatever, you're able to like listen and learn and then also share and stuff like that. So yeah,
What are some big takeaways, or like just like when you reflect on this journey, like 6 years is a really big commitment for anyone to commit to anything. And so like, what are just your major takeaways from this journey in general?
um that breaks are okay, to learn how to take breaks, because yeah, I definitely took breaks. That's why I even have the seasons. Because first I was like, I'm just gonna do it, I'm just gonna do it. But like life can get overwhelming, different things can happen. So I started taking breaks after like, well, at the first time, my second season, it's kind of just I fell into the breaks because I was just like, I can't put all that on myself. And I would just say working with people are is hard. Um, but like, cause I've done interviews, I've done this, so it's like trying to find people and try to like have people learn. Like when I feel like when I started podcasting, like it was out there, but I'm like I'm introducing something new to people. Cause back in 2018, I don't think it was as popular as it is now.
I
So and
agree.
that's why it's kind of like low key frustrating when people get on. It's like, well, you're gonna, you're popular, so it's whatever. But like someone in the mud, like I've been in the mud, learning how to edit, learning how to title things, learning how to do graphics, learning how to build an Instagram, like all that stuff. I've been learning all that social media and content creation, just by getting thrown into it. And so sometimes it's hard to navigate it. It's hard to learn, but I would say that like, everybody is different, and just learning how to just work with other people and just learning from other people, I think is really great. Talking to people, I feel like I've learned a lot, and I've gained knowledge just by like interviewing people. And I feel like my interviewing probably has got way better because I've interviewed so many people, so I can like have that in my toolkit. I connect to people even on social media. I feel like we connected. Well, we definitely connect on social media,
Yeah,
but I
and I
can't
feel like
remember.
you're a great interviewer. Like, I wanna add that, I wanna throw that in there. Like, I remember when I did one of my first episodes with you, and we talked about, I think it was like a relocation one. We might have done another one, but I
A
just
business one. I've
we did
interviewed for business.
we did in the early years, and I just remember you being such a good interviewer. Like, you asked me such, like, insightful questions. Like, I feel like your experience over the years showed, like, your like, that practice of you doing it for so long. Because I remember walking away being like, "She's, like, a really good interviewer," and I just really just, like, appreciated, like, the tone of the podcast, and like, the flow. Like, it's always been so chill with you, and
Mhm.
I just wanna celebrate you in that and, like, honor the fact that I mean, I still think you can do the talk show stuff. Like, I really do.
You see, thank you though, but also in within what you're saying too, like that's kind of why I kind of get a little frustrated because it's like I know the research. And also you research your people, right? I'm researching like that's one thing that I do. That's why I was like, I need to have that type of job, wherever that pays. Like I'm a good researcher. I was here, before ChatGPT giving all questions, but
Yes.
in a conversation, talking to people, like I genuinely like to get to know people. People always come like inquisitive or whatever, but I'm like, that's good. That's how you get to know people. So I have a genuine curiosity for different things as well.
Yes.
I think entrepreneurship was the one that I did. I did you and like some other people or whatever as well too. I like to have it as a conversation. And yeah, just like talking about different topics really helped me and thinking like the things that I was going through. So yeah, I would love to, have a talk show one day, but I feel like I kind of veered from that in a way because not everybody wants a talk show, like everybody wants to do it, and
Yeah.
it's so hard to kind of push it out in different things. So I'm just trying to do it a different way now. But I do feel like doing this podcast and like doing interviews on my YouTube channel and stuff like that, I feel like that kind of has helped me. So really, I'm like, I do have all that experience. So, it can be leveraged to something else. But what is it going to leverage to? That's where I'm stuck at. So.
No, but I love your creativity, and I'm really proud of you. And just speaking of this journey that you've been on, and thinking about it, that kind of takes me to this idea of like National Mental Health Month is in July, and
Mhm.
think about like, this podcast that you've done. I'm sure that you've had ups and downs in this journey. And then just thinking about 2024 and the work that we've done for this season, right? And like how much has happened in our lives, when you reflect on your mental health this year, like how do you feel like it's been panning out in general, like this just in general for 2024, especially post all the chaos of the world?
Yeah, when I first started like this, it was really fun. It was exciting and stuff like that. But I feel like kind of over the years, like it could kind of get dreadful because it's just like you're trying, you're posting, but you can't do a lot of work. You can't do a lot of things. And so even when I moved, as I talked about relocating, like I did take a pause on it because it's just like it was so overwhelming when I moved. So now that I'm moving again, I feel like I'm in this space, which I was like kind of alluding to earlier. Like I feel like my mental health this year is kind of like up and down. And I don't when I think about mental health, I do think about like anxiety, depression, everything like that. But I feel like also sadness is like something that I feel like I'm feeling right now, kind of sadness, because it's like so much pouring so much into content creation, pouring so much into this stuff, and then it doesn't like go how you want it or go where you want it to go. It's kind of like, oh dang, like I'm working so hard, and it's kind of like, well, what am I working for? Like I did recently or earlier this year, I stopped doing my YouTube channel because I'm like, it's a lot of work. I'm doing all this, and it's like I'm barely getting views, I'm barely getting things, and it's just like it's hard to be on the rat race. So I feel like if anybody feel like they're on the rat race, child, you just give it up. And I don't want to be on the rat race. And I feel like also since I have done content so much, I put myself in all these things, and I am creative. I do take that, and I do have a lot of creative ideas, but sometimes I feel like on the back end of that, I feel like it's hard to like build community, find friends and stuff like that. And so now that I'm new to this new city, I'm like, oh, like I do want to do things. I am the single solo girl, but like sometimes I do want to have friends, but it's like, well, do I like go all in on my content creation? Or like, do I go all in, put all my effort into that, or do I put my effort into finding friends? And it's like, okay, well, you have to kind of be intentional. And so it's like, it's sad sometimes when it's like, oh, I don't have friends to do this, I don't have friends to do that, which is on one hand, I'm in a new city. So it's like, I do kind of got to make time to do that, but then you got to find people to do that. But it's like, I'm already kind of like in my content creation mode. Like, of course, I have another podcast. I'm working on another podcast, So I'm always doing content creation within different realms. It's kind of hard to really like be intentional with finding friends and friendships and,
Oh yeah.
finding like-minded people and different things like that. So I feel like right now it's kind of a sad, like I don't like it's kind of sad in different areas or whatever. But I hope to like, you know, find more friends and do things that I like, find more hobbies. I don't feel like I have as many hobbies. So I want to kind of like maybe find hobbies and then that can like help me build my community and stuff like that. So that's what I would say. Reflecting over the year is how I'm feeling with my mental health. How about yourself?
I really appreciate the realness on that. I really do because I think that for me, like I feel like I have been going in and out of an existential crisis in some ways throughout my life. Like I feel like in some ways, like I've hit the milestones that I kind of like feel like I wanted to hit. And then at the
Hmm.
same time, I kind of have been like, I've been in this precipice of like, what is life? Like, what am I trying to do? Like, what do I even care? Like, I care about everything. I care about nothing. And I had like gone through this phase where I just felt like, I guess like almost like lukewarm or like numb to everything. Like, I don't care about anything. Like, what's that important to me? And I think that's something that I had been grappling with over this past year.
Hmm.
Friendships is definitely hard. I mean, you're not alone on that, Alicia, because like for me, especially, being in a couple and like trying to meet other couples and stuff, like being married, like it is really hard to maintain and make friendships, especially ones that are healthy, right? Like ones that like are worth
Yeah.
pursuing. And I just, I went through these phases of feeling lonely, but I've kind of come to learn that like I'm kind of just getting to this point now where like I'm just letting things kind of just be natural as much as possible, not trying to force friendships and letting people kind of show who they are because I feel like in the past I'm this kind of person that tries to jump into something just because I really want connection and community and I like don't
Mhm.
look at all the issues and then I'm like this is probably not healthy for me. And so that's been something that I feel like has come up, but I feel like overall my anxiety has significantly decreased. I think that I had like a high level vibration, but I think part of it, like I said, was the birth control change in my life, like the hormonal changes. And then also just, I realized that like nothing is like, of course, there's bad things going in the world, but like there's nothing that serious, like from like in this moment for me to like allow myself to like lose my well being. And so whenever I find myself like very dysregulated, I'm like, like Sabria, like you're okay. Like you have a good life. Like that's kind of like what I say to my therapist. Like a therapist has a therapist, yes. But like Sabria, like you have a good life, like a general good life. Like you're healthy, you're well, you can walk, you can function. You have you have a partner, you have some sense of community, you have family and friends, maybe a small circle. Like you have something you're good at that you happen to like also like to do. Like a good life is relative to what you say a good life is. So like if
Mhm.
you don't think you have a good life, that's because you don't think you have a good life. Like, and I'm not saying there's not things that can make us not have there's things that can really make us not have a good life, but in general, like we are the definition if our life is a good life. Like we get to decide that. So
Mhm.
that's been kind of my takeaway.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I sometimes think I'm like, do I have a good life? My dad was like, you have a good life. I'm like, do I have a good life? I don't know if I have a good life. Not like that, but it's like they're like, well, you travel, you do. I'm like, okay, yeah, but like, is that a good life? Like, that's just something that I do.
That's a
And
good
one thing,
question though. But like, what is a good life?
yeah, like, what is a good life to this sense? Because I feel like I don't have that good a life if I'm broke. If I'm poor, I need some money. Okay.
But look, don't we all though? Like, don't we all want a little bit more change? Let's be
Right,
real.
I need to be out here traveling, and that's just like I want to be out here traveling or whatever. So now it's like, okay, I'm trying to work towards my dream life, but like, what does that look like? But even to your point, and so I do know that you like work on your own kind of whatever. But I really started thinking about that because I was like, even when you change jobs, even when different things like happen, like a horror, my mental health, I hated, like I literally hated my job, my last job, not
That'll
to
kill your mental health. Yes.
yeah, I hated my last job and I just wanted, I never really like cry, but I would be so mad. And I just wanted to get out of that. But I would say that in that job, I was around people that like I was able to be friends with, In my role now, I do kind of work by myself. And so I do like, I'm noticing that like, dang, like I usually make friends from work, because that's where you see people at in a sense. But it's like in my job now, first, like people are married. I mean, they're older than me. Like I'm like one of the youngest people around my career, Like I'm around faculty, you faculty is really like older, not in a bad way, People who are mom, and so it's kind of like dang. So it's like I really want to kind of build that community, but it's like it's hard to build that community. Whereas when I was an academic advisor, it was all different people, single kids, no kids, da 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 da. Da. And then also there was like more things to do, but I don't even know. I think I was just like home. But now I'm more just like in a chill vibe that I do want to do things, but it's kind of like well, now I can't even really find friends or figure it out. And it's like I do value community, but I also want to value people who value friendships. And now I'm coming in, I am kind of at that age where like people are married, people are having kids, and I'm like, well, I don't have either one of those. So it's kind of like how to navigate the outside world with just like, okay, trying to find friends, trying to find people. And then like nowadays, so, people are always like in their house. And I don't really want to pen pal friend. Like I want to go out and do things. Like I do want to go out. And also like something that makes me sad is like being able to travel. Like not being able to travel that much does really kind of affect me. But so now it's like I gotta figure out, well, maybe I should do some road trips. Like I'm literally like, I'll do road trips now. I don't even really care for road trips, but it's like actually I think road trips are kind of more intimate than like flying a plane when you're with people. Like I did road trips with a couple of people, like you get to know people more, you get to have
Heck
that
yeah.
time. So it's like now I can like maybe appreciate road trips more. It's like, well, other ones are like with your family, like 7 hours. It's like, oh, I already know them people. But it's like I feel like road trips are more intimate. It's cool. Like I would even do that, but like to make me want to travel, like I literally want to go to a beach. That's why I feel like I was so sad. Like I was working out on Sunday and I was watching this vlog and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to go to the beach. But it's like, when do I have the time to go to the beach? When can I plan to go to the beach? And then it's like, well, dang, you gotta have money to go to the beach. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like it's just like the revolving door, like, I don't make enough
Part.
money to go travel, to go do this. And so then it's like it says, like, it's the summertime. I want to be on the beach. Like I love being not necessarily in water, but on a beach. Okay.
You said
By
not in
water.
water, on water.
Yes, okay. By water, you know what I'm saying? But
I
I
get
love that. And so it's just like, okay, do I want to go to like Miami? Do I want to go to Charleston? Like, but then it's like, okay, well, who can I travel with? Because I'm sorry, I can't afford solo travel. Like, I just cannot. And so then that goes into me, well, who can I travel with? And it's like, some of my friends want to go to the beach, some of them don't want to go to the beach. So it's kind of just like, and so it's like really trying to find like my core group of people. Not that them can't be my core group of people, but like if y'all don't want to go to a beach or like if y'all don't want to just go somewhere to, I mean, yeah, relax, but like, and not even that they can't honestly, like sometimes it's just, we're grown, like we're adults, but like sometimes it's just work schedule, like work schedules don't allow you, like someone has to work this week, so it's kind of just like, am I going to have to solo travel? Well, that's going to be a heck of a bill if I have to solo travel versus like trying to find people to travel with me. But it's like that's something that I really like to do. Like I like to travel. I like to go on the beach. That's what my dad's like, "Oh, you would just travel all the time." I'm like, yes, I would. Like, and that would be everything to me. Just let me travel. Just let me get out of the space. Just let me go see some other things. Like I really enjoy that, you know. So then it's kind of like, well, when that's taken away, like it's sad, you know. And that's why I was really sad. Also in Atlanta because I didn't travel that much, you know. In Atlanta because it was just expensive. So now I'm like, dang, it's summertime and I usually like be outside all the time in the summer. But now I'm like, well, do I get a second job or do I travel? Like, what do I do? You know? So it's
It's
like,
hard making those types
yeah,
of
I'm
decisions.
making those decisions. So that's why I feel like I'm in a thing like, what do I do? What do I want to do? Do I want to go? Do I want to go rent a car? Do I want to go drive? So it's like,
A
okay,
lot
now,
of moving parts.
yeah. So it's like, okay, let me look at my budget. What do I want to do? Then you want to make money, then you have the weekends. And so it's just like, it's so much. You know, I want to plan a birthday trip. Oh, because my birthday's in August. I'm trying to figure out
Speaking
like,
of your birthday, yes. So you got your birthday coming up, hey? So you gonna
yeah. So I'm
what you
like, do
gonna
I
do for
want to
your
go
birthday?
I really want to go to Bali, but I'm gonna go to Tulum and say I'm in Bali.
Okay, but to Tulum is nice too. Tulum, I heard Tulum is really
Tulum is nice, but I went to Cancun for my birthday last year. I've been to Playa and I've been to Tulum already once, but you know, I really want to go to Bali, but I'm like, my pockets are not for Bali. And you
hmm,
know, I like to take more than one trip a year.
that's a long flight.
I can't really do exactly. I can't really do the one trips a year type thing. I like multiple trips a year. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if I'm really ready for Bali. I need a man to buy me Bali. So I was like, I'll wait for Asia when I'm married.
I
Really
love
go to
it.
Caribbean. Our Caribbean, like St. Lucia, that's expensive too. So, you know, I'm like, let me stay on this side of the world. Okay. I'll go on the other side of the world, you know, when I have some help with the money. Okay. Well, I could just
I
throw
feel
a
it.
$1,000. I'm
But no,
not paying.
I love what you're doing for your birthday, and I think that's important. And I just like how you talked about the importance of like, I mean, life is hard, right? We're constantly making decisions, and you kind of bring back the same tip over and over, like taking breaks. I think that that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned myself is that it's okay to just like take time, or like it's okay for those days of nothing. It's okay to like make those random escapes if you have to every now and then, because life is short and we have to be able to do the things that bring us joy. And so I actually appreciate you sharing that. And I kind of, I know we're kind of moving towards our wrap for today. And I want to kind of reflect on our last episodes, just this season in general. We covered a lot of topics. We talked about, things from the soft life. We talked all about like money and relationships. We talked about, dating expectations. We talked about colorism and
Mhm.
body image and things like that. So, like, what would you say maybe was one of your favorite topics from our season in general this year?
Dang, that was a lot. I don't even know if I can even say because I forgot. I feel like we switched a little bit because we was hitting heavy hitters in the beginning, body image, colorism, and different things like that. And then we kind of went to like dating and then like soft life. So I feel like we started really, really, then we kind of just like we kind of like ease in. So like transition on like what can affect it, like different ways to do it. So we had like softer topics. Well, not softer topics, but like maybe medium topics towards the end. I don't even know what I could say what my favorite episode was. That's hard to say what my favorite
You're right,
episode.
because they all really flowed together, in my opinion, too. Like, I feel like I really like the deal breakers one that we did. I thought it was kind of important because I feel like that topic comes up a lot, and I feel like a lot of people get so caught up in like making every preference a deal breaker. And so I think it was kind of
Mm,
great that we spent time to like separate the difference, and we kind of like went head to head on that. I kind of like how we had our different perspectives too in our episodes. I think that was really important. I know we talked about like loneliness that we did kind of jump around. We talked about like, should we stay at a job or should we quit dream careers? We did really
mhm.
hop around. So it is hard to pick,
Yeah,
honestly.
we hopped around, so
I
I'm
mean,
trying
because
to see.
I feel like each one had like its own like heart of a focus, and we just wanted to be real. So like, I mean, the soft life talk was funny. I think that was
This
funny.
whole life was, yeah. So it's like mental health, like across the board. I definitely always love to talk about colorism. I don't talk about it that much, but I do think it's an important topic. So I'm glad that we did like get to talk about different
Me
topics,
too.
like being resilient. So like them was the heavy hitters really. And then I liked how we kind of like went into like the relationships part of like the mental health and like how that goes. I would say like my favorite episode, it's so hard.
I know it's
But
hard
I
because they
think,
all have their own like voice and energy.
yeah, I think the part two was good of the navigating finances and relationship, but I also feel like the soft life was good as well. Um, so I feel like those might have been fun, but like the first two was good too. Like the you don't need to be resilient and the effects colors, like I always like those are hands down. But I thought those other topics was kind of cool. Soft life and talking about like how to navigate it, what you think, like talking about marriage and how it goes and kids
This
and
or that was fun too. Like that was kind of fun.
this
Like
or
I
that.
like that game. This or that. That was fun.
Yeah, so I think those were kind of my favorite ones, honestly. So yeah, those would be my favorite ones out of the thing. But yeah, I want to also, thank you for being a great co-host on the season. And
I
thanks for
tried. I was struggling. I had like a billion things going on, but your patience with me is greatly appreciated because I know that I was like I had so many moving parts, but it was a lot of fun. Like I learned so much and just it was great to like have these different perspectives. Like so I appreciate you also providing other perspectives because like I hope that like clients or just people, whether it's someone that's a client or interested in therapy or just interested in mental health or this topic, I hope that they feel inspired and like they get to see like different ways of approaching the same topic. I think they kind of got that through us.
Yeah, and July is National Mental Health Month, like National Minority Mental Health Month. So if you have not like listened to our other seasons, or if you have not like shared this with somebody, you should definitely share this with somebody because we have a lot of episodes, whether it's on YouTube or wherever you're listening to it at, and just have these conversations. Because I do think that they are important, and this is all about topics that people don't talk about. So people aren't really talking about colorism. They're not really talking about deal breakers, like the preferences thing. Even I seen something today. This girl's like she's about to be dating for hot girl summer, but she was like she doesn't really talk to people, or she don't like dating people who have accents or whatever. I was like, that is so rude or whatever. Like, I don't know, like that's so rude. My friend was like, oh yeah, that's like a preference. I was like, I mean, yeah, like it is a preference, but it's like, is that a preference and that will be a deal breaker? Like you won't talk. What if that person is the nicest person ever? You won't talk to him because he has an accent? I don't know. But yeah,
Wow.
like accents are hard, language barriers are real. So I'm not gonna say that. But that's just an example of how you're talking about like, well, it's a deal breaker. Like even my friend, I'm like, she wants this man to make a whole bunch of money, but I'm like, well, would you be with a truck driver? If he's making almost 100K, oh, so you're not gonna be with him because he's a truck driver, but you want that money though, you know? So it's like, are these things deal breakers? Are these things preferences? And about time, even when when you get older, like the things, it's harder. One thing we didn't talk about that I wish we could talk about, actually, how they could affect your mental health. A lot of Black women, we are single, and as we become more successful, we like the bar is even lower. And so B Simone talked about this and Crystal on her podcast. And so something also about our body is like that we didn't learn is about freezing eggs. Like you get a whole bunch of eggs when you're younger, but as you get older, I don't know where the heck they go dry up. I don't even know. I don't even know.
I don't know.
But
I think you literally lose it every like the period. I want to say you lose them with the periods, but I think some die naturally, and I think you also like because there's literally an egg that is lost every period you have too.
well, dang, that's why you lose them because you didn't have periods since you was 5. I'm just kidding, but but even that process, and so it's like people do freeze their age, or even like the surrogacy thing, but it's like talk about like even if you want kids when you're young, like the fact is like, well, how much is freezing your eggs? Like you can't freeze your eggs. And so they're telling us, they're telling us now to freeze our eggs. Like you have this many eggs because we are getting married older, we are having kids later, but like we're not Ashanti or the brat, so we ain't got their money. So do whatever what you want with that one. But they say to freeze, and it's like, well, how much does that even cost? What does that even do to your body? How does that even, is that good or is that bad? But you want younger eggs, like when you're 20 and stuff like that, just because it's better. I don't even know what that means, but it's
Yeah,
like
the quality, the egg quality is higher.
yes, yes, yes. When you're in your 20s versus when you get in your 30s and stuff like that, it's later. But we are seeing people have babies at 35 and 40 and stuff like that. But I think that also really can affect Black women and their mental health. It's like, dang, am I gonna find a partner? And I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, even in my instance, I'm like, the way these men, like the way they talk, the uneducated, like, and I don't want to say uneducated, like no degree uneducated. That is one thing though. And so it's like, I do have a master's degree and I don't like shout out as master's degree, but like people are like, oh, you got a master. I'm like, I thought it was so normal, but I feel like it's like the quality of life. It's like, okay, I do
They
have a
have a
master.
good trade though. Good trades can work too
And
though.
yeah, I'm not saying, yeah,
Mhm.
and I'm saying the good trade, but it's good trade, but it's also like, are you exposed to things? How do you talk? How do you communicate?
Cultured, like,
Culture, and I feel like some of them are not cultured, like, so that's what I'm saying in a sense. So it's like some of them are, so don't come in the comments saying we're not, but I'm saying the majority of things like when women, like, especially like, well, Black women, like, we kind of expect more, like they do have master degrees, they do have doctor degrees. Now, child, shout out to Sabria, but baby, I probably won't get one. I might,
I'm
I
on
don't
the
know.
way. I'm
But
trying.
but yes, so it's like we do have these certain, like, I guess, expectations where they say don't expect anything, but it's like if I'm making this, I want my man to make this, I want this, whatever. And then that goes in the whole thing like, will he make less or like that? My whole thing is those like men will literally be like, she's expecting too much. But it's like, how can someone expect too much when they build this quality of life for themselves, And so Black men are like, well, she expects too much, like they would rather be single. And it's just like there's a missing piece to that. And like when you talk about like traveling, someone's like, I'm gonna take my child to Paris, so they're not really excited about your like Miami trip for the weekend or something like that, So it's like, how do you expect someone, even like me, like I don't try to be shady about it, but like someone who's even been to like 14 countries, and I'm not saying that to be like bragging, but like, okay, I've been to LA or something like that or whatever. It's like, how do you expect someone to be like, okay, we're just traveling the United States if I already been out the country? You see what I'm saying?
It's like a
So I feel like,
perspective.
you said what?
The perspectives, like the different.
Yeah, the perspective changes. So like you never been out the country and you only expect like, I mean, some people don't have a passport. That's cool. Not even saying that, but like if you don't want to get a passport, I should say, if you don't want to get a passport and you're talking to me and you already know I've been out the country so many times, why would you keep talking to me? It's like sometimes Black men want to humble Black women, but it's like, no, I'll just like, bye, see you next time. Like, I don't really shade if you haven't had a passport. I do know that I was fortunate to travel very young out the country. I do understand that. But sometimes they don't even want more for themselves. So I feel like that's where the lack is. Black women want more for themselves. Black men are like content, and not all, but I'm just saying like within the education. So, it kind of just goes down. The more educated and successful you are, it's like, it's harder to find a match.
And
And
it's
so
it's really tough too. I can see that complication because I was lucky in a place where like my husband and I were able to build together. So like
yeah.
in
Mhm.
many ways, like we met when we both were like trying to figure out our lives. We're both like young and broken and trying to figure things out. But it worked out because I mean he just finished his PhD. I'm almost done with mine. And he's doing amazing with his career and moving into entrepreneurial stuff. And I'm full time mostly entrepreneurial. So I think that like I mean, it is hard. It is so hard dating. And so I give so much credence to Black women and just in general, like in the dating
Mhm.
experience. I know it's not easy. And that's why I really love to support people in the journey. I know it's possible. I have a lot of optimism, but at the same time, I'm not out there in trenches every day. So like I know it ain't what it used to be. I know it gets
Literally,
worse every day.
literally. And then the dating apps are next. This woman, he was like, I'm an open marriage. I'm like, well, does your woman know you're an open marriage? Gonna ask me to be friends? No, sir, no, thank you. But then this other guy, they be having the audacity. He was like, I just got out of the penitentiary, something like that. He was like, don't be asking me for something. But then he's like, I'm the prize. I'm like, what? Like, you think you're the prize and you're probably a felon. You just got out of jail. Do you have a job? Can you go out the country? Can you vote? And you think you're the prize? Get the heck out of here. Like, it's diabolical out
This
here.
is
Like,
funny. What a way to end this season with a bang. Like talking about a bang. I want to wrap us up. I know we gotta bring this thing home too. And I know you got karaoke, we got things we go. I got laundry to finish today. But I want to say that like for the therapy corner today and just for our final therapy corner, teardrop. I want to just say my final thoughts to you all. It's okay if your season changes. Like your season will change, and the more we fight through our seasons, the harder it is. So I want to encourage you to like allow yourself to feel through these seasons, like the single dating seasons, right? Like the job and trying to figure out our life season. Like allow yourself the grace to feel through these seasons, the loneliness season, the friendship season, all those things. Because when we fight our seasons, it's hard to move forward. So that's like my final thought to leave with you all in this journey. What about you, Alicia? What are your final thoughts?
yeah, I kind of said it earlier, but I would say to, actually, I talked about this in my other podcast, so you can go listen to it. It's called the Black Girls Den podcast. Haha. But we talked about like social media comparison because in May, that was mental health like National Mental Health Month. So we talked about comparing yourself to social media, and even in regards to this, like within your mental health, comparing yourself to social media, people, celebrity lives, and everything like that. Like they got this, they got that. Da, da, da. Like just take social media breaks. My whole thing, like take breaks from social media if you are feeling inferior. Unfollow people. Do things like that to really protect your mental health and your peace. Like I know I followed a whole bunch of people, and if you don't want to be a content creator, it's okay. They're telling everybody to be a content creator because you can make this much money. Da, da. It's all a rat race, just like the 9 to 5. Like it's all like you don't got to be on the rat race. You could take a break. Like I'm literally taking social media breaks. Like I'm barely posting right now. Like I'm just kind of working on my own stuff. And it's like sometimes you can't post and work on your stuff and do this and do like you can't do everything. So kind of just take breaks. And honestly, I'm just like in my selfish season. I'm in the gym. I'm trying to travel. And I just can't be worried about posting on Instagram 3, 4, 5 days a week. Like I just cannot do it, whatever. And also hire help. So I know that I do have an intern to help me, and I hired a virtual assistant with my other podcast, and she does our social media, right? So hire help if you have some extra money, be able to get services done, get some help. If it's taxing your mental health to think about dinner every day, this is not sponsored, but y'all better go find a food service like HelloFresh or something like that. Y'all can sponsor this, like do things that's going to help you enjoy your day and have fun. Laundry services. If you don't want to do laundry, like Sabrina said, she got to do laundry, you can hire somebody to do your laundry. You can really hire people to do different things for you to help your mental health. So I would say take breaks, pay for services,
Delegate.
delegate, just relax. And like sometimes you do like have to take a month to refresh. Like me, I love karaoke. I love it. I don't always sing, but I do go sing. But even me, like this is for my mental health. Like maybe I'll find somebody that loves to do karaoke. It's really down the street from my house. So I'm like, yeah, let me go check it out. I see it. I like karaoke. I love music. If you don't know, I love live music and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna go see how it is and just have fun. So yeah, that would be how I would end the therapy corner. And I would definitely say if you do like this, make sure you rate us wherever you listen to us. Make sure you like us on YouTube. You like this video, comment your thoughts. Follow us on Instagram at Millennial Thoughts Pod, on Facebook. Join the conversation with us. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy this season. This is the last episode of the season. I am so sad, but hopefully you've had a good July. And hopefully, you are ready to take in everything that we have taught y'all for the rest of the year and beyond.
Thrive, baby. Thank y'all so much. Alicia, it's been my pleasure and honor. Everybody, we are signing out, and it's been an amazing journey with you all. So thank you.
Yes, bye. Thank y'all so much for listening, and go follow and support Sabria if you have not. And if you're from Sabria, come and support Millennial Thoughts so we can cross promote.
Sounds great.
Bye. Thank y'all
Bye,
so much for
everybody.
listening and watching.